More than 5,000 orchids will be on display at the Royal Botanic Gardens Kew in London from this weekend. This year's Orchid Festival is inspired by the biodiversity of Costa Rica.
Horticulturists make the final adjustments to the displays at Kew Gardens. This installation is the centerpiece representing a Costa Rican sunrise. The Central American country is the inspiration for this year's Orchid Festival. It is home to around 1,600 types of orchids. And organizers say that this is the perfect time to celebrate that biodiversity with over 5,000 blooms on display.
The build itself takes 3 to 4 weeks, and usually for the build in January we have around a dozen horticulturists. So the team of the Princess of Wales plus a few more coming to help, but a staggering amount of volunteers. We had 10 volunteers every day for 3 weeks basically, so around 100 volunteers. So it's a big undertaking.
This is the 26th annual Orchid Festival to be held at Kew. 2021's event was cancelled due to the coronavirus restrictions in the UK. But normally planning for the next year starts as soon as the last one is finished. Then there's an intense few weeks as the team puts the display together.
It's a huge, very diverse family, and that makes it very interesting. So there's lots of like orchid nuts, if I can call them that come specifically to Kew to sort of see the collection, because we have some really special endangered species. And I think that is the joy of the festival as well. So there is the big blousy displays for people to enjoy, but there's also the slightly niche, sort of delicate little orchids that are rare and that are really sort of have to be admired sort of more up close.
The festival has an environmental message too. Scientists from Kew Gardens work with groups in Costa Rica to protect its precious wildlife. Orchids are particularly vulnerable. They are threatened by deforestation and by people removing them from their native habitats for their personal collections, medical uses and food.
Costa Rica is often held up as an example of a tropical country which is doing very good work in terms of management of the native environment. And from the 1990s they've been doing work in reforestation. The high elevation forest will often regenerate quite well if it's allowed to, so it's a question of educating the farmers, educating the land managers. And one thing that Costa Rica was involved in from an early stage was in ecotourism, so actually developing an economic model which meant that money was coming into the country which could be ploughed back into conservation activity, and so it's all about education.
The Orchid Festival runs until March 6th this year. It is being held in the Princess of Wales Conservatory. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.